Yeah, I'm just going live now. That doesn't mean you have to do an actual open.
No, we got to do a real open.
That's a short beer.
It is. They don't count. Short beers don't count. Everyone knows.
Like the calories don't count on that?
Nope.
Is that what it is? Nope. That's fair. I'll take it.
All right.
You ready? I actually have the open for you in here.
Oh, you do?
Well, it's the outro, but I'm going to make it the open because I can. I should probably go ahead and close out my email as well.
Nah, it wouldn't be a...
No, it wouldn't be a show without my email bing going through. That's always important. All right. Ready?
So bad.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. We are not inside the Eford Studios, but we are on an Empire property. We are at Raleigh Times on the rooftop. It's our last show of the year, Joe. Get hype. Is this officially our OG Christmas party?
This is because we're also at the OG Empire property.
Indeed. Indeed, we are at the Raleigh Times. We have a variety of people who are going to be dropping by. Scott Wood, NC State, he's going to run through here in a little bit. Lauren Brownlow is going to drop on by. Chip Patterson. I want full-on Chip Patterson voice.
You want the intro to the Cover 3 podcast.
That's what I want.
You don't want,
no.
like, oh, okay, Danny. Okay, yeah, Florida State. We get it, Danny. You're upset, Danny. It's okay. The soothing Chip Patterson college football therapy voice. It's okay.
No. I want the full-on voice.
It was wide right, Danny. I know. If you just had a kicker, Danny, it would have been okay, Danny.
So the thing is, we have to give the people what they want from the jump, right? That's usually how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's actually bad business. I think you want to like get him here and then tease him a little bit.
So should we tease?
Then you heat the oven. It's like a whole thing.
So should we preheat the oven on the whole Mack Brown lost signing day for the first time ever?
Yes.
You want to save that?
No, hop into it.
Okay, because you would agree that Mack Brown, for the first time ever in his career, lost a signing day
and lost the press conference.
Amazing to me.
Yeah,
I never thought in my lifetime I would see Mack Brown fumble on a signing day. That's his day. That's why he came back. That's why the boosters wanted him. Mack Brown was supposed to win days like yesterday. And it's like he wanted to give NC State their 10th win early. Is that what that was yesterday? Like Merry Christmas, Dave? Actually, he didn't even say Dave. I don't know who he was talking about.
That's right.
He didn't mention the
rival
coach.
School.
Which rival school? I thought Duke was the rival. Was he talking about Mike Elko?
When you come back to North Carolina, as we learned.
Okay.
The only reason that you're there is to win games like this against Duke at night.
Of course, and get super emotional about those things. No, as I fired up letting people know that we were going to be live on YouTube at 2:00, there were people already in the chat arguing about the Mack Brown
Let's
thing.
do it.
All right, let's give the people the context, though, because I love about context. It's the NC State North Carolina game. NC State actually looked like they gave a damn and won, while we're still trying to figure out what North Carolina was doing.
Did they not get invited?
So after the game, the ACC Network, ESPN crews got cameras like they always do, because all these in-room celebrations get filmed, whether through ESPN/ACC Network or the school's own social media arm, because, again, the cameras are always rolling, and they broadcast this after the game.
It's been 1,460 days since those pieces of
All right. You and I talked about it after the fact. You were kind of like,
I don't love it.
You didn't love it, right?
No.
Why didn't you love it?
I didn't love it because I said at the time, he knows when someone's in the locker room. He knows when a camera's in the locker room.
Yeah.
There are other ways to say that. Now, do I think he was specifically calling Drake May and Tez Walker and, the backup punter a piece of shit? No. He was calling Carolina the collective a piece of shit. And the person who's going to join us in like 5 minutes literally walked home from a loss to Carolina once. So, I mean, it's a real thing when you actually live the rivalry.
Dude, so
it's a real thing.
Are you telling me that at no point Roy Williams told his group, I want you to beat those pieces of shit?
He may not have used that language.
Maybe. No, you're right. Roy doesn't use that language.
No, he swears. But
occasionally.
But I think it was more... There are better ways to do it publicly. I'll just say that. Like,
agreed.
I would even go to the point, I won't use it, but like, I feel like MFers would have been more acceptable.
That's fine.
Than pieces of shit.
And this is not the first time. This is not the first time that Dave Doeren has made it abundantly clear that they get the edge by proclaiming they don't like them. I mean, what was it? The year before?
Yeah.
Where he told
The hearsay.
The hearsay.
Yes.
He's like, I don't give a damn what you say in the broadcast. I want you to know that we do not like them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave Doeren spent a good chunk of the latter half of his career playing the heel against the heels. We know and I think a lot of Carolina fans have seen this and gone, okay, well, how do you respond in kind? You can shut them up by beating them.
Right.
They're not doing that. Drake May engages in some rivalry talk by saying, it's a safety school. You can't get a college, go to state, all that stuff. They made that dude apologize for the most trite rivalry talk that ever existed between NC State and North Carolina. They made Courtney Bangard apologize for similar stuff on the women's side. So,
and I think that's where the classless comment from Mack comes from.
So this is
he wanted an apology. He wanted
he got one.
But
we'll get to that in a second. Here's Mack Brown. Again, context matters. Mack Brown, it's signing day. They're talking about their class. As Chip Patterson pointed out to me before we started today, Mack Brown could have easily sold the fact that they're one of four ACC schools with a top 30 class. I think it came in at 22, depending on the service you look at.
Sure.
Not like a gangbusters recruiting class for North Carolina, but a good one. A good Mack Brown recruiting class. Things that you can tout. Didn't take any questions.
That's the bizarre point.
Spent a third of it kind of talking about the grand scheme of how they go about recruiting and letting the general manager talk. Went on a weird side tangent about the false reporting around Kobe Paysor's injury and how they handled that. And then this.
Secondly, in our last ball game with a rival school, after the game, the head coach of that school called our players a piece of shit. And I apologize for that language, but I've never heard something like that before. And I'm disappointed. I thought it was classless. It's not true. Number one, we didn't play well in the game. We didn't coach well in the game. It's been very well documented, and I got that. But you don't call kids a piece of shit. And I've addressed it with our team. I apologize to them. These kids are one of the top academic groups in America. They got an award for AFCA's top 13.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not hear the whole thing? Is that the first time you're hearing the whole thing?
Oh, no. He went there?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you heard the whole thing.
Oh, Mac, you're the one who started FM. No.
The first thing that got me to go, wait a minute.
Oh, no.
Was that he said, I apologize to the kids. What are you apologizing to them for? Like that you didn't respond? Are you apologizing on behalf of Dave Doeren? What are you apologizing for exactly?
I didn't realize that.
And then, of course, he talks about, the academics.
They've won a Coastal Division. They've won a bunch of games. They've been to an Orange Bowl, been to 5 straight bowls.
Yes, the Orange
They
Bowl.
represent us well. Yes. And from me speaking for them and their parents, they really didn't appreciate being called a piece of shit. Never heard that before.
Never heard that before? Never heard that before. Never heard a coach fire up a team by using some things to call the other team something.
Right.
Like you said, MFers. I mean, you can use any language you want, but look, this is where I get fired up.
Okay.
Because in the course of my career, Joe, do you know how many times I've been mentioned or emailed or somebody tell me
you've never had your hand in the dirt?
I can tell you've never played sports, Joe. You don't know what it's like in a locker room. I'm like, I got a pretty good idea of what it's like in a locker room. You talk to enough former players, you get a sense of what's going on. You talk to enough coaches, you get a sense of what's going on. So this idea that I've never heard that before. Really? Huh. Okay, interesting.
He brought up their academic record.
That's the other thing too. So he continued.
And very, very disappointing. But it is what it is. And we'll continue to work hard to try to be better.
So that was earlier in the day. Oh, by the way, my second favorite part about the Mack Brown press conference was at the end. He wraps up. He gives props to the GM, the people who worked on the recruiting class. And we found something else that Mack Brown won't talk about. He's not going to talk about the defense.
No, it's not his job.
And apparently he's not going to talk about the recruits that are going to come play for him.
So he's just been an absolute blessing for me and for us. And I thought it would be better for him today while I'm in the staff meeting to come and address all the players with you and talk about them, because he and the recruiting staff spent 2 years on these folks. So that is it. So, yes, no, I'm not going to answer any questions today. This is just about signing day. Yep. So.
This is just about signing day, and I spent 2/3 of it not talking about signing day, and I'm off the stage. So that's how Mack Brown ended the press conference. It was very cringeworthy.
Okay, so I tried.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me sometimes I can't go full Giglio.
Go full Giglio.
No, but you tell me sometimes like
You've
it's
had
not
half a beer.
No, you say it's not productive.
True.
So with Bubba the other day, I was trying to lead him to the water, right? Aaron Matson, 23 years old, wins this national championship, keeps this thing going for Carolina field hockey. You hired her.
Mm-hmm.
Mack Brown, 72. It's fairly obvious at this point. Everything has passed him by. Why are you letting him still be the head coach of Carolina football?
I think it comes down to the way Mack Brown was hired. Do you think that Bubba Cunningham had a lot of say in how Mack Brown was hired?
I do not. I think there was a $12 million buyout for Larry Fedora that he was told, we will pay if you bring this very specific coach over.
Can I give you my petty theory?
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is I feel like I failed. I feel like I failed everyone by not like saying to him, like, why is Mack still your coach?
No. That's
or is it too obvious that it's the money?
It's
always the money.
I think sometimes you and I don't ask questions because we know the answers to them and it's not worth bringing up. Because I also had that same thought too. I would have put it more in a context. We all know the end for this.
No, this was the end.
So
the game in Raleigh was the end. By not showing up, by not literally not showing up was the end.
Yeah, I agree with you. So my question to Bubba in that particular, and the one thing that I was thinking about was, all right, well, how do you handle the exit? Because you know how old coaches are. They don't want to leave.
Well, he's not even recruiting anymore, apparently.
Apparently not. The GM's the one that's doing it. He doesn't coach the defense. That's on Gene Chizik, who apparently still has a job, which I find surprising after the last 2 years.
Does he really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Have I missed anything on a Gene Chizik job change? No? Okay, because Chip's way more plugged in than me. He's got that super secret CBS Sports Slack.
No. He's one of them. So
that's true, too. That's true, too.
He's got the omerta. He's okay.
Yeah, that's true. These are things we can't talk about. But no, like that whole thing with Mack Brown was shocking to me because Mack was brought back to win days like yesterday.
Oh, yeah, and has.
And
routinely,
the reason
regularly.
why, to finish my point on the Bubba Cunningham, if we go to the Ovies school of pettiness, there's a little bit of a you break it, you buy it when it comes to Bubba Cunningham. The boosters wanted him back badly. So, okay, you wanted him back badly. This is what you want. You let me know when you don't want him anymore. And then we're going to get into the business of finding another coach. I think that's ultimately what Bubba Cunningham might be kind of thinking of right now. He's probably too worried about how do I get myself to another conference at this point with the way things are going.
I mean, he's got a lot going on. I have tremendous respect for him. I think he's tremendously intelligent. I find it hard to believe that he thinks it's a good idea for Mack Brown to coach the football team in 2024.
So Mack Brown doesn't say NC State. He doesn't say Dave Doeren. He also does this before Dave Doeren's press availability. And Dave actually does take questions. And he was asked, hey, you got any response to what Mack Brown said earlier today about y'all?
Well, you should have heard what I said about myself and my own team after we lost to Duke in that locker room.
I want to stop it right there. You know how yesterday when we were recording the year in review, you and I actually commended Dave Doeren for getting a lot of messaging right this year. Mm-hmm. Right out of the gate, Dave Doeren is continuing his run of getting the messaging right. Yeah. Like, you thought that when I was talking about somebody else? Man, if you thought I was angry in the post game after the Duke game, what do you think these guys heard?
First of all, when we go to these meetings, we're supposed to get notice that there's a camera in our locker room. And that was not done. And so, I have a lot of regret that was on TV because it shouldn't have been. When you go into a locker room with your team, that is a private conversation. Unless they ask if they can be in there with a camera, and that was not asked. That doesn't give me an excuse to have that public. But that's what happened. No one told me. And obviously, if I knew I was on camera, my language would not have been what it was. It doesn't make it any better? No. And I did call Coach and apologize because I could have used a lot of different words, obviously. He caught me in a heat of a moment situation in the locker room celebrating a huge win. I was fired up about how we played, But I have respect for Coach and so last thing I wanted was for him to feel that. And again, it's not an excuse, but it shouldn't have been on TV. And I think there's 1,000 coaches out there would tell you that, if we had to apologize for everything we said in the locker room, we'd probably spend a lot of time doing that. It's a place where a lot of emotion comes out, right? But, yeah, I could have said that in a much more professional way and regret not doing that. What I don't regret is having passion with my players and celebrating a big win. And I'm going to continue to do that. And hopefully down the road, we'll get the courtesy that we deserve when we're going to be on TV in those moments. So, but I understand, their side of it. And, it's signing day. We'd rather talk about that.
you said you did call him already. You expressed regret to Mack Brown before today, or
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
gotcha.
So there you go. There's Dave Doeren responding to what Mack Brown said. And I think that's the key part there. Is like, yeah, man, I called him a couple weeks ago about this. So why do you think Mack Brown went about it the way that he did yesterday? By A, not naming NC State or Dave Doeren, or pointing out the fact that, yeah, no, we talked about it and we're moving on from it.
I mean, I guess he thought he was making a play that would make State look bad on signing day after losing one of the receivers that they had recruited over to State, losing the game to State, all those other things. I mean, it was a miscalculation. I didn't love what Dave said after you should have heard what we said about Duke. Like,
I didn't mind that. The camera part I have a problem with.
Yeah,
you got to know the cameras.
I don't believe it. I still don't believe it, though. Like, they literally had a former player threaten Dave recently.
Yeah.
So they've had to lock everything down over there. They know everybody who's in and out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
They know everyone who's in and out of the locker room.
Of course.
So
and I said, they have their social media teams running cameras all the time.
And also, by the way, as my friend from one of my friends in the business today had texted me, like, yeah, we say no to ESPN all the time. Now he's in the SEC, and I'm like, I got news for you. You're not going to be saying no much longer, because there's no difference between ESPN, ACC network. That's the conference.
Yes.
So even if Dave was like, hey, no, you can't come in here. Oh, you like those checks? That's what the money's for.
Well, I will also say this. Coaches tell their players, and they have classes on this all the time, in the age that we live in with camera phones, you have to think and you have to understand that you are going to have somebody filming you do something at all times. Yep. So you have to be a little bit careful. All that being said, all the semantics aside, I am not going to clutch pearls over the fact that a coach, after they beat a rival, was super fired up and was figuratively talking about a school that he's openly said he doesn't like and other things.
Again, he was not calling the players out. I think it's fairly obvious that he was a collective Carolina.
And I do think there's a lot of Carolina fans that are now finally seeing with Mack Brown. Some were early on it. I think a lot of people after the State loss and how they didn't fight in that game and how Mack Brown has handled this 4 weeks after the fact. Like, you now decide to show this fight? Well, we'll see what happens the next time a Carolina player or a coach says something about NC State and whether or not they're forced to apologize. Don't make them apologize. What does it get you? It makes you look bad. And for the record, another last point on this, a lot of Carolina fans are like, oh, well, State fans are whining about Drake May. No, State fans are just making jokes. Not a single soul is asking Drake May to apologize for rivalry talk.
That is literally,
that's what
if
State fans
you've
want.
ever had a conversation with a Carolina friend, the number one thing they will bring up is, you couldn't get into our school. So cool.
All the time.
Housekeeping.
We are at Raleigh Times live on YouTube. We'll have the audio of this coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. Head on over to breakingtea.com/OG. Get the hoodies.
Your hoodie. Yeah,
I got my hoodie on. You got to rep the brand, man. That's what it's all about. So go to breakingtea.com/OG. Buy hoodies today. You will look fresh. You don't get the captain's patch like the governor does, though.
No. I have
custom.
2 extra ones, though. So if if they're in Raleigh, maybe you can qualify.
Okay. And we also have our OG year in review, part 1.
I'm excited about that.
Coming out on Monday. So you wake up Christmas morning, open up some gifts, put us up on YouTube. What says Christmas like that?
It's a Christmas miracle.
And then we'll have part 2. Well, we had a Festivus miracle early, thanks to Mack Brown.
We did.
And then we'll have our part 2 on Wednesday, and then we'll be back with normal shows on January 2nd. Big thanks to Mosquito Authority for sponsoring the show. They have been with us from the jump. We appreciate the OGs. So we appreciate Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Give them a shout at bugsbite.com. Bundle, baby. Bundle. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Bugsbite.com. Hayes does not believe in contracts, but he does believe in saving you money.
And also big thanks to Breeze Through. Adam texted us yesterday. Apparently he's got some ideas for 2024. I'm excited about this.
It never stops, man. As long as we're included in the carry Breeze Through, I'm okay.
So head on over to Breeze Through. Between now, look, you're running around, running errands, getting holiday things, and they've got the caffeine, the hydration, the snacks, all that stuff, and of course tailgating needs at various Breeze Through locations. We've made him wait long enough.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. Joining us here at the Raleigh Times, he is Scott Wood. And let me see if I can actually get this thing right. There we go. I had that 2-box thing going on. Scott, what's up, man? Oh, wait. Let me turn your mic on. There we go. What's up?
What's going on? I'm surprised nobody asked me about Dave Doeren's comments and the back and forth. I was waiting to get some 2 cents on that.
Well, that's where I was leading you on.
What do you got?
You're in now. What do you got?
Point blank period. Players want to play for someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a show. And I definitely wouldn't have apologized for it.
I don't think Dave really apologized for it.
But I would also tell you, you guys think that the cameras are in there. Football may be a little different, but I never remember a post game with a camera in there outside of the NCAA tournament.
You don't remember? Oh, that was the there's a plane waiting for you.
That was pregame.
Okay.
So that was said pregame.
Oh, okay.
You get some in there, but post game, there's always like a 10-minute until they move in.
Okay.
So I'm gonna come to his defense on that he may not have known.
But NC State social media wasn't where it's at today, though, right? You guys had a show. It's a little bit different.
Plus the ACC network. It was the ACC network. This was not like I remember when Ed Orgeron, after they finally beat Alabama, the other won the national title at LSU, and he gave the whole roll tide, fuck tide thing, and it was a player who actually had his phone out and put it on the Snap Face or Insta Stories or whatever the hell they're called. You know what I'm saying? This was the ACC network. Like, this didn't just sneak up on you.
Yeah.
But I would
Mr. I work for the ACC network, so be careful.
Our social media team may be in there, but you're going to protect the coach if he does say something crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, typically, from what I've seen, and again, I've been removed for 20 years now.
Oh, 10, yeah.
We didn't have the ACC network or ESPN sitting in there.
That's what I'm saying.
After the game. So Mark, Sydney, whoever would, I mean, I hate to tell you, they've said a lot of things about some other teams. It just didn't get to the camera.
Well, okay, now I'm curious.
If you think that's bad, you should have played with me in Europe when I have a Serbian coach. I mean,
did you understand them?
The one thing Serbians know how to do is say all the cuss words in English. So it didn't make sense, but they say it a lot.
All right, let's actually talk some hoops, because I know you were on the call last night for NC State St. Louis. A little bit of a sleepy start, but turn things around.
Figured it out.
Yeah, it was really slow. It was actually really hard to watch. We were kind of sitting there going back and forth, but man, this is a snooze fest. But neither team shot really well. I kind of mark it up to Christmas break.
Yeah.
So they've kind of been in Christmas break, not going to classes, not the normal routine. So I kind of assumed the second half they'd pick things up. And also making threes is contagious. Same thing as free throws. You make a couple free throws, everyone makes it. You miss a couple, everyone misses it. They saw a couple go in and kind of broke it wide open. But I've watched enough game film on that St. Louis team. They're not bad, man.
No,
they're not bad. And I think they're trying to figure out their pieces, because now they've got guys in different spots. But I think they'll be all right. They're a good little team.
That's the best team that State will see here in Raleigh until obviously league play. One thing I liked, Scott, since we won't have the pack therapy this week, was I really Cam Woods played well against Tennessee, and you could take that as, hey, Casey Morcell, once there's competition, you better get on your game, man. And I thought his response in that game was great.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a veteran. I mean, he knows what it takes. He understands that someone's always gunning for your position. But he also, he's always going to bring that defensive intensity. So I think even when he's not scoring the ball at a high clip, he's always going to bring a little bit more defensive mind than probably what Cam's going to bring. I think the nice part is they've got three guards, really. Casey, Jaden. You can throw Michael O'Connell in there, DJ Horn, guys that defend. So I think that's the one nice part that you'll always get it. Again, it's just kind of coming down that stretch. We've talked about it 100 times. Who's going to be the guy they give it to when they're in tight games?
I look at Jaden Taylor, the way that he's defending, and your broadcast partner yesterday was like, you keep talking about Jaden Taylor, and there he is again. And I was like, yeah, well, there's a reason. I'm watching that game last night. It occurred to me that one of the reasons Debbie had hired Kevin was she wanted like a Louisville-like team. That actually looked like a Louisville Patino type team last night.
And I'd say this is one of his first lineups that he has depth, especially at the guard position, so he can get guys in and out. He's always said, all right, we're going to press, do this, that. I just don't think he's had the depth to do that. But I will say Jaden makes it so hard to call a game because we spend 15 seconds of them bringing the ball up the court. And it's just like, what am I supposed to talk about? He's just hounding them, just turning them back and forth. And for 15 seconds, all we're watching is them, play great defense.
It does seem like it's hard, though, to have a Cam kind of come in, to have an MJ Rice come in. I think you missed the Amir Yurt 7 days where he came in after 10 days. Maybe Tommy Dete was on one of your teams, but it's hard to add a guy, right? Like after 10 games like that.
I think it is because it just adds a different element to the roster. You've got guys that may be playing 15 minutes. Now all of a sudden they're playing 8.
Yeah.
So, I think they're all good enough to get minutes. It then just comes down to, as a head coach, keeping that locker room kind of straight, because the problem that will come with all basketball players is, what is their attitude going to be like all of a sudden now that they're not getting as many minutes, but the team is still seeing success?
Has it gotten too late early, though, for the Wolfpack in terms of like resume?
I think they had to win one of those games. Now, I talked with a couple coaches, and I don't think they're worried yet, because they did the same thing last year. They started 1-3 in the ACC, didn't have a really good non-conference win. So I think if they can finish in that top 5 at the ACC, I still think there's a really good opportunity for them. But just for me to feel confident, I think they needed to get one of those.
I will say this, though, about the ACC so far. If you're worried about state and then in conference play and the conference not being good enough to make that happen, I mean, as the week wraps up, Duke beats Baylor last night. North Carolina beats Oklahoma. ACC's, I think, 9-3 against the Big 12 so far this season. I mean,
I think there's going to be more opportunities in league play than last year. Now, they hit all of the games that they needed to last year, beating Miami, beating Duke. And I think there'll be something to that with Virginia and Carolina early here in Raleigh. I think that those will be the 2 biggest games.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously Notre Dame's struggling, but I think as a whole, it's a more steady, anybody can win any night conference, which will help. But again, they got to win the Dukes, they got to win the Carolinas, because if they don't, I think they're going to be in a pickle.
It's fair. Have you watched any Carolina and Duke at this point?
I haven't watched a lot. I watched a little bit of the Duke-Arizona game.
Yeah.
I think it's like anything. All these teams are still trying to figure out what they got.
Right.
I think Purdue is about the only team that's bringing so many guys back that they can kind of just roll with it in the season. But everybody else they've got newcomers, they got transfers. So, again,
is the reason why people love UConn as well, because they roll pretty deep, although they did lose they lost last night, right? I'm keeping track of things. I guess when you to go back to when you were playing, you had a general sense of the group that you were with. Maybe you're bringing in new pieces, et cetera, but it wasn't this business with transfers. And that's the thing that I keep trying to scream. We can't really assess a team in November. We can't really assess a team in December. Maybe mid-January you get an idea of what's going on. And State, more than anybody, thanks to the purge with the transfer portal thing, like, all right, all transfers are legal now, and you got 2 guys that have come back to this lineup. You got to work that out first. I mean, you're playing with these guys.
Yeah, and I think the hard part is, I would say by the start of your conference season, you got to be rolling. But, they just came out with that new rule. So now all of a sudden you've got new guys coming back out. So I feel like you got to have a little bit of patience, especially with the NC State team, because they're bringing 2 new guys back into the roster in the last 3-4 games. So you got to have a little bit more patience. But again, it's running out of time. The clock's ticking.
Before we let you go, Joe brought it up in our most recent episode that Mark Gottfried, one of his great tricks was to call CJ Leslie Calvin as his teammate. And at the time, were you like, who's Calvin?
I did not know his real name. I just went by CJ. I was able to see him last night. He was at the game and was on the Jumbotron.
Did you see him?
They didn't put Calvin on the Jumbotron,
CJ?
though.
Right.
It was definitely CJ. So
How's he doing?
He's doing well. We've got some Tuesday, Thursday games at the Dale, and TJ's been playing.
Right.
CJ, Richard's back in town.
We
Richard's been playing.
We got to get Rich on Law of the Wolf.
D West is in town.
Richard's
He's been playing. So it's actually been some good run.
Richard just picked up a foul on his way.
Nah, Rich is.
And he's changed his jersey from sweat.
Well, when we have Rich on the law, we're gonna have like
mid-drink, Scott. Come on
all of the Rich stories.
I've got one really good one.
When he punched CJ.
Well, everybody punches everybody.
Do they?
That's the only fight I think I've probably broken
I
up.
haven't punched Joe yet. He
I've
hasn't
probably
punched
broken
me.
up 10 fights in practice, and that's the only one I didn't get involved in.
That was in practice?
That was in practice?
It's before
I
practice.
was just saying, I thought it was in the
okay.
locker room.
No, it's
Okay.
before practice. It's actually in the training room.
The training room.
Maybe
not
we're
the
talking
locker
about multiple instances. I don't.
You
I
can't
mean,
keep
it could be.
track.
We love each other, but we'll throw hands at each other in a second when they piss us off.
All right, Scott, appreciate you coming by, man.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take it easy. Scott Wood hanging out with us here on Ovies and Giglio. We are at,
the hottest mic in the history of the world.
look, man, it was on sale.
Okay.
You know me. Don't give me an excuse to buy another mic.
You're Johnny Technology. I don't know.
No. Look, here's the thing. Like, these 2 mics are the same.
Yeah.
I got them from Heil Sounds, and they've been, I think they've been good mics.
No, they are.
This one, I realized we needed a 3rd mic before we went to ACC kickoff
Yes.
in the summertime.
Yes.
So trying to look out for the OG Media budget. I was like, let me see if I can find. I like this mic. It was like the same name, but I noticed it came with like a different color. It was like a different version of it. And that's why that microphone is like incredibly hot. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. It is what it is. We
need a beverage or you're good?
Brownlow, you need anything before you sit down?
Yeah, the shorty. Shorties don't count.
You're good for now? Okay, let's go ahead and do some ads and we'll bring Brownlow on. Shorties don't count, and I wish there was a way that calories at the butcher's market did not count.
That would be nice.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Mm.
I want to say that their stuffed grape leaves, those calories don't count. I love their stuffed grape leaves. But they've got a bunch of great appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, those types of things that you can use to host for your Christmas, New Year's parties. Or if you just want to be lazy and put the manicotti in the oven and make it seem like it's your own, you can do that at Butcher's Market too.
Yeah, man. You can't go wrong, right?
No. Or maybe you don't even want to do any of that stuff. Maybe you just want to have a big old wing party.
Ooh.
Go to Wings Over.
Ooh.
That's what you need to do. Go to Wings Over. And
big shouts to Ryan. He came through. We got some gift cards here to give away to our live studio audience,
so that people can see the Wings Over logo.
He's sick.
Oh, that's not good.
And I was like, it's okay, man. Look, we'll have other live events. He insisted. He drove by the house because Ryan lives in Garner.
Yeah.
And he drove by the house, dropped him in the mailbox, and it was like Christmas. I woke up this morning and I was like $25 gift cards. And I was like, whoa.
Hey, man, we'll take it.
Let's do this.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
So head on over to Wings Over. They got locations in Raleigh, off of Hillsborough Street, in Chapel Hill, and of course in Greenville. Go to the website, order online. It'll be ready when you want it to be ready. That's the most important part. They are absolutely on time, and the wings are absolutely fantastic.
We're moving on.
Now hanging out with us at Raleigh Times, that Brownlow lady. Wait. Hold on.
Hello.
Here we go. Hi.
There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Got some winter citrus punch.
Oh.
So we'll see how that goes.
Citrus punch sounds very holiday-esque.
Did not see. Oh, it's a
I'm a sucker for a Christmas cocktail.
Oh, nice.
And now a lot of places are giving them out in these special Christmas glasses and stuff they give you to take home. I have several now. I'm like, what am I going to do with these? But I'm now collecting them.
Love it.
Carolina.
Yes.
Was that the defense actually being like something that they've been trying to get at? Hubert Davis, we've been talking about their inability to really be consistent on defense. I was worried that if Carolina's going to win a bunch of basketball games this year, they're going to have to be in the 90s, just going to straight up
race,
track meet everybody. But they were pretty sufficient against Oklahoma last night, although Oklahoma also would kind of make it easy for them with 18 total turnovers.
Yeah,
against the Tar Heels.
The early game was a bit of a mess by both teams, frankly. But yeah, I think it's probably some of both. Look, they're not, if you just want them to defend in the half court and sit back and not try to make anything happen, it's generally not going to end well for them on most possessions, right? They have to be more active, get into passing lanes, make sure that they're the first to loose balls and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the one thing that you look back at that Kentucky game, and Kentucky was the first one to the loose balls too often, I think, especially in the second half. And so that's, as long as they can be that team and force something to happen, turn defense into offense, a lot of things look a lot easier for them, I feel like.
Fair enough. RJ Davis continues to be, it's funny. RJ Davis has been the guy on the stat sheet that your eyes pop out.
It's unreal.
When you go to Ken Palm, you always see the little
driver.
You see the little MVP next to his name every time on Ken Palm. However, and this is something that I know a lot of fans have been stressing and Hubert Davis has been stressing, they need Armando Bacot to just straight up elevate. I thought he had a pretty good game last night too.
Yeah, he definitely responded well, I think, to what was probably by his own admission as well, like an embarrassing outing for him against Kentucky. He didn't play well. He played a lot better in this one and, had some blocks and was able to score. I think that he looked comfortable offensively, which we had not seen in a minute, I don't think, especially against some of the more athletic teams inside that they played. He was able to score effectively for the first time in what felt like a while. So that was a good development for them.
I just want to say I was mad at Carolina last year when they lost all of these games out of the league. It hurt the rest of the ACC.
For sure. And they did much better in the non-con.
And now this, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Carolina did its job.
Yeah, you could really only look back, I think, at Villanova and
look at
stuff happens.
Did last night.
Exactly.
Come on.
I knew they would
fine.
be that type of team.
Yeah,
you could tell this year that they would be that type of team, and they were. And a lot of things went wrong for them even in that game.
I loved Hubert's comments after this game about RJ getting his flowers.
Yeah.
As if like
because nobody's ever talked to RJ Davis.
Hubert, like, it's like, man, he's really getting his attention and his due, and he's never really had that before. And I'm sitting here going, well, kind of like Caleb Love did the same exact stuff that he did, but he hit like this really important shot over Mark Williams. Like,
no, I mean that's pretty, but yeah, and that is kind of why I think RJ was always the second mentioned guard. But if you were like, it's one of those things where like if you watched a lot of Carolina games, regardless of whether you like Carolina or not, you could tell that RJ was the one you want to hit the ball in his hands, but I don't think even I predicted that we would see him kind of make the leap he has this year. Like he is turning into a dominant scorer at this point, or at least it seems like it.
He's got room to breathe. That's
also,
the thing.
He should be an NBA rookie. Like I'll say the same thing about Peyton
for
Wilson.
Sure.
But people are like, Peyton Wilson's one of the best players in NC State history. I'm like, guys, he's in his second year in the NFL right now. I would hope he's coming back to middle school and dominating the eighth graders. Come on.
You joke about Hubert Davis and his comments about RJ Davis. The ones that I've been cracking up, and it was relayed on the broadcast last night, is Hubert Davis saying, I know for a fact that Armando Bacot, this is it for him. He's not coming back.
Right.
This is a wrap.
Oh, he's out. He's out of years.
He's out of years. Although, I mean, in a perfect world, do you think Armando Bacot would ever want to leave?
Why not?
I don't blame anyone for not wanting to leave, but I think it is. I'm not picking on Lauren right now, but it's like, yeah, guess what? Under most circumstances, RJ Davis would be on the Delaware 89ers right now.
I'm
like,
not disagreeing.
That's where he would be.
I just don't know that I remember in recent, like in Carolina having a guy in a little bit. It's been some time. I feel like that had that kind of leap.
Yeah.
In terms of like pretty good player, and you kind of thought that's who he was. And then all of a sudden he kicked it into something else.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's clear.
And then Duke last night
showed some toughness.
I'm not
a little bit.
It's that doesn't surprise me because we saw flashes of that toughness at the end of last year. We know Duke's capable of doing it. What I was looking for out of Duke so far this season is they can say all the right things about bouncing back. After some disappointing losses, they had games against Charlotte and Hofstra. I ended up at that Hofstra game and he's
so proud of himself that he went to a game this year, by the way.
A non-con.
This is getting to be Aaron Rodgers territory, by the way. It's like, really, Joe? You went to the Hofstra game? Huh.
Wow.
It's like the 8th time you dropped it.
Some of us had to go to the Hofstra game, the Central Connecticut State game, all those games, or we weren't getting to see a Carolina Duke game.
Since you brought it up, big shout out to Dan, who rolled up while I was setting up here at Raleigh Times, and he said, "Look, man, I don't have time to hang out."
Oh, Dan. No.
I don't have time to hang out, but I wanted to tell you,
Mystery Dan,
that I appreciate your takes on Aaron Rodgers. So you can take your little attitude
and stuff it in a sack, mister.
Stuff it in a sack, mister. So as I was trying to explain about Duke and Hofstra is they can say the right things. I expect to bounce back. We expect to bounce back in these games. We showed a little bit of that stuff. But you're doing it against teams you should beat. You want to see it against another actual quality opponent, a top 25 opponent. And the other thing that was most key wasn't necessarily bouncing back and winning. It was at what point were what people view as role reserve freshmen. Right. Like you have all these pieces. How are you going to make them work? Well, Tyrese Proctor's been out the last 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Who's stepping up?
McCain for sure.
And they finally both really showed up in last night's game to hit big shots, because that's the question you've been having about
McCain.
Who's going to hit shots?
One of those freshmen has to be
McCain had to be. McCain had to be the guy.
I feel starting. Like. Yes. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
No, we all know not all 5-star McDonald's All-Americans are created equal. We get that. We've learned all this.
It has taken them some time in recent years, even under Coach K. I feel like more than we're used to seeing with Duke. It's taken them some time to get their feet under them a bit, more than we're used to seeing. Because I think the stat was like they haven't lost 4 before Christmas, like since '82. So that's what was dangerous going into Baylor for them. Yeah, it'd been that long. I mean,
you're right, because the lost year of '95, K was there, and they were 9-3 before the back injury.
Yeah, because they looked a lot better before that happened for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So because we're doing it live and people are coming in and out of live,
we got a mixtape. Yeah,
I have.
No? What we got?
We have mixtape. I don't know if Lauren wants to do the mixtape. We have people here. Maybe somebody wants to participate in the mixtape.
I think so.
But before we say goodbye to Lauren,
the mixtape.
Okay, yes. Brant wants to do mixtape. So we'll get Brant ready, and then we can let Lauren get to her holiday punch or whatever it's called.
Does look delicious.
What?
Wait, what is the liquor in it though?
It's bourbon, so I'm in
I'm
trouble.
okay with that.
I'm gonna have to take a knee here for a minute after I finish this, probably before I drive away.
What did you think of Mack Brown
Oh, boy.
finally losing a signing day press conference?
Oh my god, that was.
Thoughts, Lauren? Thoughts?
He's usually a pretty savvy guy, maybe in years previous to this more so than this one. I think there's been some slippage in that department. You don't. Why draw attention to it?
Don't know.
I don't like what was the end goal is my bigger, like, what did he think would happen?
Not sure.
I think if he thought like I'm gonna do this and Jonathan Paler is gonna flip from State to Carolina, then I'd be like, oh,
Did he think like media members would be mad at Dave? Like we all heard that at the time.
I think my theory.
Now, to be fair, I was surprised it wasn't a bigger deal at the time.
When he said, when Doeren
Right.
said it.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
Doeren
yeah,
said
yeah.
it. Agree. I didn't like it, period.
Yeah.
I think that after hearing the last 4 weeks that Carolina had no fight, and
I mean, that's not
State
the way,
fans,
though.
You
think that's the way
thing.
you prove you have
That's
no
the
fight
thing.
is to say that?
Yeah. Maybe
So-
that's what he's.
Because I do think that he's hearing it from Carolina fans, and the attitude being, hey, you might win games like this if you cared about that game or showed the fight, or you had the attitude that State has in this game. And I think this might have been Mack Brown's attempt to be like, I'm doing this for the players. I'm showing you I got a little fight in me.
I feel like I saw half as many fans that were like, "Why? Please don't say this."
Yeah. Did you like my little dance? Got a little fight in me?
It looks almost like I don't know. It almost looks like you're like telling to mom and dad. Kinda.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, it does
and
kinda
it
look
has
like
that
that.
energy, and it's like I just don't.
Dance.
I don't know.
I was doing that pirate jig again.
I just don't know how you counteract a narrative that you don't have a culture of toughness by
doing that.
by
By
being like, wasn't that mean what they said?
We've got
what he said.
Yes,
It's
we
like,
have kids who do X, Y. That's mean what they said, and I apologize to them. I don't know. It just the whole thing was
It was just
And
weird.
also, by the way, they're not kids anymore, as we've established.
Some of them, yeah, obviously.
Well, most of them. Come on.
I mean, kids is always relative. I am always curious.
They're
when
not
they
allowed to
decide-
get a drink. We can call them a kid.
Mac is 72. We're kids to Mac, so
Well,
This is true. Youngsters, youngins, whippersnappers.
the youth.
that's facts.
We are the youths. Lauren, thanks for hanging out.
Of course.
Merry Christmas. We
Merry
will see you
Christmas.
later. Okay.
Will we? Not later, is it? No, we won't see you until 2024.
See you next year.
I know. See you next year, I guess.
Okay. As I'm doing all these things live and direct again. Yes. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Do we want to have a mixtape contestant?
Brant's in. Brant.
Okay.
Brant.
Let's do a mixtape, and then we're going to bring Chip Patterson on. But while we're waiting for Brant, hold on a second.
Does
I saw Rand earlier, and I said, "You got a little Christmas jingle for us?" He's like, "No, I can't do that."
Well, he'll come say hi before Brant.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we need somebody. You want somebody to do mixtape? We need somebody to do mixtape.
Okay.
While we do that, let's talk about Hometown Realty, shall we?
Yes.
So, Brant, come on over. Hometown Realty. Check them out online, myhtr.com. New construction is absolutely key right now. I was actually talking about this with my neighbor Rick yesterday, because there's some new homes that are going up in our neighborhood, and some lots have been sitting there. And I said to him, I'm like, well, man, with the interest rates being what they are, it might be kind of difficult for some of these new homes to be purchased. However, that's where the incentives come into play.
No, you got to go to myhtr.com. There's buy, sell, calculate, but also you can't just like run up inside the side of the road and think you're going to get a deal from the new construction.
No.
Go with the experts. Go with Hometown Realty. It's myhtr.com.
And if you buy a house and you take it to closing, by all means, use Whitaker and Hamer. Check them out online, wh.lawyer. And they're also going to be hosting our Tech Mode Bowl tournament. We've had some people reaching out.
I was going to say, we've already had people reaching out, and I'm going to need Josh to draw up a contract to see who gets to be the different teams. Like, Giglio, I want to be the Bears. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'll make it work. I'll make it happen.
Fair enough. So check them out online at wh.lawyer. If you want to be in the Tech Mode tournament,
email us,
which will be on February 4th at Shady's in Garner. Email us, the OG Goes Digital at gmail.com. All right, we got Brant, a WKNC alum, hanging out with us. Brant, what's going on, man?
Hey guys,
Appreciate it.
How do you feel about your Christmas music knowledge?
It sucks. My wife pressured me into this.
Do you know, like, phone a friend, bring her over?
I might have to, but
Okay.
let me see what I can do with that.
All right.
Without her help first.
So,
All right, so we got tumblers, we have a shirt, we have gift cards.
I've
we
been
have a
told
sticker.
that I'm supposed to be trying to win the tumbler.
Okay. All right. That's
Perfect.
Cool. It's a very bespoke custom tumbler. It's a
Yes.
State Farm tumbler with a sticker on it.
Yeah, as long as you don't put it in the dishwasher, you're fine.
Yeah.
So Travis Quinn, PA announcer for NC State over at Carter Finley Stadium, came by the studio and we had him read
Oh, these are so good.
holiday
I'm not gonna lie, these are so
music
good.
lyrics. We don't have the rights to play these songs, so we just have him do it in his announcer voice. Although I want to say with this one, he went more quiet storm. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
I picked the wallet up, and then I took a pause, took out the license, and it cold said Santa Claus. $1 million in it, cold hundreds of G's, enough to buy a boat and matching car with ease. But I'd never steal from Santa, because that ain't right. So I was going home to mail it back to him that night. But when I got home, I bugged, because under the tree was a letter from Santa, and the dough was for me.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right, so here's an important question. Would you like to phone a friend and your wife or Chip Patterson, who is like Johnny pop culture?
I am happy to let Chip weigh in on this because I'm pretty sure my wife
Chip,
doesn't know this one.
just hand him here, Chip. Here, grab my headphones. Grab my headphones. All right, I'm gonna.
We
play,
are in
I'm gonna play.
downtown
Ready?
Raleigh. We are live.
Yes.
I picked the wallet up, and then I took a pause, took out the license, and it cold said Santa Claus. $1 million in it, cold hundreds of G's, enough to buy a boat and matching car with ease. But I'd never steal from Santa, because that ain't right. So I was going home to mail it back to him that night. But when I got home, I bugged, because under the tree was a letter from Santa, and the dough was for me.
All right, Chip picked you up.
All right.
We got it. We got that tumbler.
All right, Chip bailed me out. Good.
There it is. There it is.
Because, I had nothing. I told you before the show, I was pretty lousy with Christmas songs. There's like 4
But what
that
if I
actually
gave you
know.
an acapella version, an actual acapella version?
An actual acapella
Yes,
version?
an actual, not a Jonathan Rand acapella.
So
version.
you're not going to like get in trouble for
No,
trying
we're
to
good.
perform it
We're
yourself?
good here.
No. We're fine. We're
Yeah.
fine.
We're also live, right? Like they can't F with us when we're live.
No, they can't do that.
There's a limit to what they can do, I think.
And also, I think let's put it this way: we're just reading lyrics. We're not actually using the performance, so it's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Brant, go grab a tumbler, man.
No, I
Yeah,
appreciate
sure.
it, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate you supporting us.
All right. In the meantime,
Well, we gotta
Chip-
say hi to Boo Boo real quick.
do we?
Boo Boo.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. We're live. He came to see us. Come on.
He's all. You know what's funny? He's all cleaned up.
Make sure it has the tumbler in there, B. He does look like a
He
Christmas
does.
present.
He does. He's all nice and wrapped up. It looks good. I wrapped it here. Pick up the
Pick
microphone.
up
You
the
remember
mic.
how to,
Pretend you've been on radio.
you remember how to
before.
do that, right?
Yeah, I saw that when Scott was on, you didn't, push the button for him, and I was like, "Well, this is classic Ovies forgetting how to produce."
Yeah, I totally forgot. I'm a little out of practice when it comes to running
You're
a board.
saying we need you, right?
I'm not saying it.
we can't.
but
We can't afford Rand.
that's
No,
accurate.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
He's all grown up. now,
Besides,
though.
aren't we actually paying for Rand's salary?
Currently, right now,
we
yes.
are. We're
yeah, through
taxpayers.
taxpayers.
Yeah.
So we're
I
good
mean,
like that.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
I pay your salary.
I appreciate.
Sing for me. I pay your salary.
Sing for me.
Dance for me.
In all seriousness, people have been asking us for an outro, like an actual outro.
Okay.
We asked you for an outro months ago.
You've asked me for so many things.
And in typical Rand fashion, it
Yeah.
takes lots of prodding to make that happen.
It does.
Also, knowing your organizational skills, I wouldn't be surprised if you
Whoa.
actually have.
We did not bring Rand on here
If you
for.
ha- no, I'm
this
saying-
is not Festivus.
I'm saying he probably has a file somewhere. He just can't find it.
I do have the Hey Joe open for like months
See?
from now.
I was right.
It's
I was
been
right.
right there, and I'm just like, Is now the time? Nah, they don't need it.
Make them wait.
It's fine. That's a 2024 Rand thing. It's fine.
Got to make him wait.
Well, he
Gotta
does
make 'em
know.
wait.
Like he's the one who sifted through my 300 plus acapella the newses
And put him on a cassette tape for
which
you.
I appreciate.
We
Yeah.
haven't actually talked to you in broadcast form since then, actually, to be honest. Did you enjoy our acapella goodbye to you?
Oh my! Are you kidding me? It was
Yeah.
incredible. I got teary-eyed. It got dusty in the studio. Yeah, it was amazing.
You felt God in the studio. That
I
night.
did. I felt
Yeah.
God in that studio.
Yeah. Not just in the Chili's.
No.
Would you like to plug your show going on right now?
Well, I would. It just got done,
Oh,
but
it's
it's
over.
okay. But big thanks to everyone.
way to keep up
Yeah,
with
it's
his
fine.
schedule.
Yeah.
I know he
This
was
is-
in Durham. And
Big
now
thanks to everyone who came out for Ira David Wood III's A Christmas Carol 50th anniversary.
Is it still the third?
Now it's going to be the fourth.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I mean, it's
Quattro,
still the third.
actually.
Like he's
Okay.
still, but the fourth has taken over the role of Scrooge. So thanks to everybody who came out in Raleigh and Durham to see the shows. We got done last weekend, so it was great. Had a great crowd. Evan Rachel Wood made an appearance. She played Christmas Past the last
Oh, nice.
the Sunday of the Raleigh shows.
Are you
So-
sure it was her and not a replicant?
I'm pretty sure
It wasn't one
AI
of-
is not that good, is it?
Okay. It wasn't one of the bots from the show. Was
No,
it?
it wasn't. No, I don't think it was Dolores.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Then there was no
Although it's-
Marilyn Manson there either.
This show, no.
Also, I'm not sure. I don't know. It could be a replicant.
It might have been somebody from
Yeah.
Delos or whatever the name of the company was called.
Yeah.
That was one of those shows that the first two seasons. Well, the first season was
First
great.
season was really good.
Second interesting. The second season was kind of like, where's this going?
Yeah.
And then the third season, we're like, this is not the what? Huh? And wasn't there a fourth season?
I think there were 4.
I did not watch the
Yeah.
fourth season.
Okay. We
Did
got
not
to get on
watch-
that.
Did not watch the fourth
Okay.
season. Thanks, Rand.
Thanks for having me. I
Send me the
appreciate
damn
it.
outro.
I
Or
know.
no, send me the Hey Joe.
Hey Joe first, then the outro.
Yes, so that way Joe doesn't make fun of me for constantly going, all right, let's get out of here on some Hey Joe questions.
What would you like
it's,
What would you like?
all right, let's get out of here. It's Thursday, so Oakwood Pizza Box is open. So let's get
true.
out of here.
What would
It
you-
is Festivus.
What-
Joe's airing out.
What would you like the
grievances
outro to be? Do you want it peppy? Do you want it
No,
like
dealer's choice.
today.
Dealer's
Dealer's
choice?
choice, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dealer's
Always,
choice.
always dealer's choice.
No, actually, I know what it is. He wants the Collins Avenue. No, we want a Collins. We have a six. So here's the thing. Hold on a second.
I like off Broadway now. That's definitely got some
well,
Billy Joel.
The problem with
Okay.
the problem with off Broadway is that it sounds like we're
He's got the
doing the
headphones
end
on.
of Frasier. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's never talk about that team volleyball favorite thing.
Yeah, that's
Jackson
right.
is here if you'd like for him to harass
No, we're good.
you.
We got to go to break. Is that how this works?
No, we don't have breaks anymore. Sorry,
no
we just go
breaks.
straight live. So, do you think? So that's a Frasier baby tossed salad and scrambled eggs or whatever, and then we have.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling.
Whatever it is.
Salad
What?
and scrambled
Isn't that how the
eggs.
lyrics go?
Quite stylish.
And
Really?
Then there's the Collins Avenue.
Oh.
Now, do you want? This is the full 16-second version.
Ooh,
This is what
that's
we
Collins
use.
Avenue medium.
This is what we
Okay.
use rights free out of iMovie to get us out of the show.
We're getting
Ready?
into dangerous.
Did you do something to this?
Oh yeah, we could roll with that. That's a quick 16 seconds. Yeah, we can
All
make
right,
that
I
work.
will. It's an iMovie. Do
So-
you have iMovie?
Yeah, well, in 2025, I will get this thing to you guys. So do not worry.
All right.
2020
By 2025. I'm excited about
2025,
that.
I will. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's bring Chip Patterson here for a second, and then we'll do another mixtape. Are we gonna get Steve to do the mixtape?
Oh yeah, we definitely need Steve to do the mixtape. Yeah,
We don't want Steve to do. We got to get somebody to do the mixtape. Who else is here? Maybe Ken can do the mixtape. Maybe we can make that happen at some point. We can also put it out. What are you doing? You gotta go to the bathroom? Oh, he's off to the bathroom. So
All right, let's go rule of thirds. How am I looking?
You're fine.
All right,
You're
good.
fine.
All right.
Chip Patterson. Actually, hold on a second. It's all messed up because of the. Let me move where you are, so it actually looks like we're looking at each other
Right.
on the screen. Did FSU leave today?
Not today.
Or do I have to wait for that tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow either. I
What
was
are they
kind of
do-
glad.
What are they doing?
Step one. It's
Step
the,
one of what?
the tiny domino.
Cut a hole in the box?
No, no,
Like, what are we
no,
doing?
no. It's the tiny domino that's going to lead to the big domino.
But they've been talking about this for months. They already did one of these board of trustees meetings where they had a Festivus where they aired their grievances against
Right.
the ACC and how we're going to get to the bottom of this grant of rights. If the grant of rights could be broken, it would have been broken by now, and it probably would have been done under silence and out of nowhere by another school, not somebody like Florida State that's constantly saber rattling.
So fundamentally, just in terms of like procedure,
Yeah.
they do need the board's approval to take legal action against the ACC. And what it would be is it would be a complaint asking if the grant of rights can be held up. And they've also got a couple other potential like items that could be in the declaration of this lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer. You know, once we get the document, you can figure it out. But the way that it's been explained to me is that this is about clarity, and this is about clarity on the number. How much, because we keep talking in general, like $120 million is the exit fee plus the grant of rights. And who knows what that could be negotiated down to. And it says, okay, let's take it to a court. Let's figure out exactly what it is going to cost, and then we can do our private equity dance where we sell out our whole athletic department.
It's in the grant of rights, Chip.
So it is starting. It is.
We talked to Bubba Cunningham this summer, and he pretty much laid it out. It's a pretty, it's very specific thing.
Mixtape.
I'm telling you their play. Okay. I'm not asking you. I'm not defending.
Okay, I'm just
the
talking.
play.
No,
yeah.
I'm. You're now Danny Cannell.
Right. No.
Sorry.
No, I just got done talking to Bud about this, who is a lawyer and also Florida State guy. So like he is uniquely qualified.
Of course he is.
I mean, he was saying this like, all right, guys, if I can get my hands on the lawsuit, I'll do a 60-second YouTube short tomorrow. I swear. Like, but Bud's dialed in, and the way that he explains it is that, there is an outcome where a court's like, actually, this grant of rights, cannot be held up, which I agree with you. If that was the case at all of the legal experts at all of the schools that have looked at this thing, we would have reached that point. So I'm eliminating that as a potential. But there is the, you create this lawsuit, you start to ask for actual valuations to be placed on this, and you reach a negotiated settlement. I mean, in the same way that the professional golf is just dealing with lawsuit, negotiated settlement. And in the negotiated settlement, line number 1 is all pending lawsuits are done. And so Florida State's going to get in and start doing that dance with the ACC. I mean, it's going to be a legal fight that are going to dictate terms for Florida State's exit, because Florida State is leaving the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when and how much it's going to cost.
Nobody is at this point, if we had this conversation earlier in the summer, I would have said, nobody's leaving, settle down. Like, you're going to be sitting a while.
Right.
But then with everything else shaking out, and then the silliness of adding Cal, Stanford, and SMU, and given how this college football playoff thing played out, yeah, I'm now fully on board. This thing's a wrap. The days are numbered. But I'll stress this again. Go back and listen to our conversation with Bubba Cunningham, who continues to be the most level-headed person in all of these conversations. And when you had asked him about the reported nature around bringing those three teams on.
It was explained to us, at least through sourced reporting, that the reason Stanford, Cal, and SMU were added was in the event that Florida State, Clemson, or Carolina leaves the
and also to change the math on the dissolve the conference vote.
Yes.
Because you also by bringing them in,
There's
like
that.
You no longer dealing with
you're going to vote our way.
It is the Magnificent Seven defense that is being done by the schools that were not included in the Magnificent Seven. Shout out Brett McMurphy as always.
Bubba said the most important part that I've also been screaming for a long time. When I say it, whatever, I don't expect people to listen. But when an AD who knows the numbers and understands how this plays out says it, people should pay attention. These shifts occur at the end of television deals.
Agree.
An AD with a stake, by the way. This isn't like some AD on the outside of the table. Like this is Carolina. Like they have a shot at this thing.
No offense to John Curry, who's a great interview, but Wake Forest is not in these types of conversations about where would they land. North Carolina is viewed as a team that would actually maybe even participate in that FBS plus for all we know.
Yeah.
So the point is, Bubba's out here telling you, yeah, man, I mean, we got to wait for a media deal to run out before we really have a conversation.
Well, in a previous conversation, which again was in a different environment, he told you, he was like, well, let's be honest about this. There's the exit fee, and then there's the number. And he even used that phrase with you. He said, what is the number? And nobody knows. And my read of Florida State's potential legal action, which I do think they will green light at that Board of Trustees meeting, is to find out the number. I think that they are in touch with private equity, and private equity says, well, what's the number? And they say, we don't know the number.
Yeah. Well,
and so now they just have to start the fight.
Shout out to blatant homerism, Alan Kenny, who says, oh, please, private equity, buy Florida State's athletic department.
I'm ready for live FSU football schedule.
And then they'll strip that thing down to the bone of saying, wow.
What's the ROI of this cross-country program? Let's just get rid of that.
They might look at the ROI on the football program and say, what are we really doing here, guys? Do we need all these people in these positions? Nah, let's run this like a lean, mean ship. Vulture. That's whatever the name of the Succession, what was it called on Succession? The media company that I can't remember. Was it Vulture?
The one that the Swedish guy was running?
No, that was something else. It was the one that the eldest boy wanted to create. But anyway, you get my point. They're going to run that thing into the ground if you sell yourself to private equity. I just feel like at some point, Florida State, people will just look at them and go, guys, we get it.
Right.
Like, we get it.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like, it's newsy, but it's not newsy because we get it. We understand where this is headed. And that's the other thing about timeline. Okay, so nothing's going to happen until 2030 or 2028 when these media rights deals start running up. But it's going to take a long time for this court battle. Mm-hmm. They're gonna file something, then we're gonna have another counter file, and then we're gonna move this thing around. It might be 6 months before we're even there. The next date that matters is August 15th, 2024, because
they have to give the notice.
Right now, Florida State is an ACC member for the 2024-2025 academic calendar, and they have to be
the hottest
in.
mic in the history of the world.
It's
by the way.
fine, Joe.
Just so you know.
Okay.
It's
am
fine.
I overpowering?
No, he's not overpowering.
Am I too much for you now?
His little earbuds are getting overpowered. So that's all it is.
And look, and everybody's congested right now, so our ears are popping.
I know, it's
fine. August. The next date that matters is August 15th, and I think that our friend David Hale even was like, look. 2024, Florida State's probably in the ACC. 2025, Florida State's probably in the ACC.
You're in the ACC up until 2028, dude.
But this is
2028.
I'm just saying, and you know what? Honestly,
because that's
I do not care to bet on when they leave. I truly do not care.
I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess your money up. Okay.
Hey, we're Big Ten now. We're all in on the Big Ten. Let's go.
And that's terrible. Rutgers, Iowa games.
There's
Penn State.
Now Chip is now Chip is overpowered. Now he's picking up. Now he's overpowering the microphone. What microphone
that is the hottest mic in the history of microphones
for your podcast? Because when you start the podcast, it's like your intro, man. You're loud on your intro.
I mean, they're not a corporate sponsor, but the Roadcaster pod mic. Yeah.
No, Joe, it's fine. Joe,
I mean, I can step back. It's all right.
No, it's fine, Joe.
It's all right.
Joe's had one too many short beers.
No, I haven't.
No, not at all.
That's the mic I got in trouble with. That's all.
Oh, that's the microphone that we had.
All three were yelling at each other and you had to scrap a whole segment?
No, you heard about that one. No.
Wait, which one? Oh.
Yeah, that was a Brownlow segment that never aired. It never aired.
I loved hearing these two. You guys had to drop cutting room floor.
Yeah, Chip knows about that one. That never saw the light of day.
The Louisville Atlantic Coastal Division champion.
Yeah. It was such a
they were so triggered.
It was just it had devolved into such horrible content. It did. An executive decision had to be made.
So triggered.
Yes.
No,
you were. Hey, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing that right now. I know, I'm yelling right now. No, I know you're using the pod mic. That's what you're using for
the Roadcaster.
That mic could pick up the homeless guy across the street. Just so you know, that mic is crazy.
As somebody in the comments said, "Are you sure that wasn't Mack Brown still yelling about Dave Doeren?"
Could be.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Just coming outside. Yeah.
But here's the thing: I don't want to mess up your money, but somebody does have to pay for these schools to go to your conference.
Mm-hmm.
Disney is in cost-cutting mode. Your company seems perfectly happy with who they have in the Big Ten and the teams that are coming to the Big Ten. And I can't imagine that Florida State, as prideful as they are, would be willing to go to the Big Ten or the SEC at a cut rate deal the same way that Washington and Oregon, out of desperation, entered that league. I can't see that happening.
The way it was described to me is there was a little bit of a shift behind the scenes where there was a group of Florida State power brokers who are kind of the mindset of, we want to be in the SEC. We want to be in the SEC. The SEC is the move.
Sure.
And that what's happened over the last couple weeks has had them now saying, well, we don't care. Like
just out.
We'll
Just
go
get us out.
just anything, and that being able to get them at least further from their position, because I've heard that the SEC ain't playing ball.
Of course not.
No, of course
And
not.
so-
Because
Because the
Alabama, Georgia, Florida,
Hey, well,
they
the
do not
SECs
want Florida State
look,
in their
SEC's
league.
final chip is the 9th conference game, and ESPN would not pay for the 9th conference game. So that tells you where these television companies are in terms of what they're willing to pay for.
Sure.
And another
Yeah.
mouth to feed is something that I can't envision.
It's not about the mouth. It's
But-
about what those other schools want.
But my point is that if the switch is flipped for some of these power brokers, then as prideful as they are, I still think they take a cut rate deal, because right now they are just like, get us out.
Just get us out.
Just get us out.
All right.
And it's sad, man. That's a sad state of affairs when you're just,
So are you
down bad.
Are you doing like 2 shows at
Yes,
once, Joe?
tell Greg he's on the mixtape next.
Okay, I think you just
You're up
did.
next.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have Greg do the mixtape.
Yes.
That would be good.
Yes.
Before we leave, are you disappointed that Florida State didn't say we're out when it comes to the Orange Bowl? Just
Yeah,
automatically declined it from the jump.
I am.
You can't do it now.
No, Carolina opted out of the NIT. I think it's very analogous.
Oh,
I think I'm in agreement with Joe on this one because it's only
So
going to
I
get
was-
worse for these bowl games because once you go to 12, what are we really doing?
So, CBS Sports HQ has a studio in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I was in that studio
What do
for
we got?
SEC championship weekend, and all that. So I was around a lot of like Florida people and Orange Bowl people and
Yeah.
people who are super connected to the bowl game. From the jump, it was described to me that there are people like on the Orange Bowl committee and deeply involved in that game that are Florida State bigwigs, and that just politically, the Florida State was not going to be a part of tanking the Orange Bowl. Would be bad state politics, to put it nicely.
I love Giglio's professionalism, eating egg rolls while we're having a conversation.
They're cheesesteak egg rolls.
Cool.
Not just any egg rolls.
Cheesesteak egg
No, but hey,
rolls.
that is going to be the saddest game.
Oh, it is.
That is.
Nobody
it-
wants to be there.
It's going to be so sad.
But I do hope that Florida State wins and then they
Oh,
claim
yeah.
a national championship.
Yes,
You-
100%.
You should do a cover 3 national championship shirt for him. We'll do an OG national championship shirt for him. Go down to Fort Lauderdale, hold a parade in the parking lot of CBS HQ. I mean, why not?
But TBH, they are going to be fielding a roster that talent-wise is probably closer to Boston College. I'm being very serious.
Who they almost lost to.
I'm being very serious when I say that when they hit those like 10 opt-outs for this bowl game,
Yeah, man.
I think that the power rating in the Chipolytics formula will have dropped them to a 1. They were sitting around 17 or 18.
Yeah.
They will be closer to a 1
All right,
when
Chip,
they take the field.
cover
Chip,
3.
You're the bestest, man. You do such a great job.
Are you guys doing shows after every bowl
Honestly.
game?
No
Emergency podcast after every bowl game?
So, I mean, next week will be a tough just because they're like the Bulls come fast and furious. We're doing 26th, 27th, 28th, like back-to-back 11 a.m.
All right.
live shows to just be like, boom, here's the next 7 games. Boom, here's the next 8 games. Here we go. Just kind of
But before
running
we
through
let
them.
you go,
Yeah.
I had somebody in. I could not place the bet today, but how would you feel about in an old school confidence bowl pool, South Florida being my number 1 confident pick tonight?
South Florida has not made a bowl game since 2018. Alex Galesh has obviously exceeded the expectations. Raleigh boy Byron Brown,
It's the
who
local
I
kid
thought-
who should be state's
Sorry,
quarterback.
I was going to ask you off mic. I was like, yo, did State kick the tires on Byron Brown? Because that boy in a diverse offense with good skill players on the outside, he did a really good job. So also, as we know, Syracuse is down to nobody.
No coach, nobody.
Nobody's healthy.
South
Nobody's
Florida's
out
still
there.
catching points.
Yeah.
Is this the stinkiest line in the history of the world, or is
Well-
South Florida the best bet in the history of the world?
South Florida's defense is like
Suspect.
no.
Oh, okay,
Like,
they're okay.
yeah, no. I'm saying like the just the hot garbage kind of
okay.
where Syracuse is going to run. Here's what's going to happen: Syracuse is going to run a Wildcat offense and run for 350 yards, and the only question is whether or not our boy Byron Brown can keep up with touchdowns the other way at the Boca Bowl.
So there's some Baylor, Larry Fed
Yeah.
energy here.
That's because
Okay.
like Carlos Del Rio Wilson, the backup quarterback for Syracuse, is so bad.
He's terrible.
And so they're going to just have LaQuint Allen, and they're going to do the whole Wildcat
All right.
offense with their tight end. But I like the Bulls plus the points. I like them straight up, like as a little bit of money line play.
Sprinkle.
All right, Chip, get out of here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
All
Y'all
right,
be well.
Chip Patterson, CBS Sports. Check them out on the Cover 3 podcast. Big thanks to State Farm for sponsoring Ovies and Giglio. Matt Davis is who you need to contact. They can save you money. I know apparently we've been saving some listeners money here recently, right?
We have. We had a great Christmas miracle. I got a text from Matt Davis.
Yeah.
Put your headphones on. And he said that we had 2 people lose their home insurance coverage. They said they listened to your show. They checked in with us. Thank you. Those are the best texts you could possibly get. So I'm excited about that.
Very cool. And Homefield.
Oh, come on now.
Homefieldapparel.com.
Yeah.
Use the promo code OG23.
OG23, save 15%. And then honestly, you're gonna buy one thing and you're like, yeah, you know what? I could actually use one of those hoodies. No, you know what? I could actually use one of those golf shirts. No, you know, I could actually use one of those t-shirts. And then all of a sudden you have a whole collection. And then you saved a bunch of money and you're on your way.
And with the holidays here, you got family in town. Like I got my brother-in-law and my niece and nephew coming through. And if they're going to be, it's fine. I'll see Chip. No problem. I'll see Chip. No problem. Head on over to Graffiti, where you can take part in some axe throwing. You can enjoy some cocktails. You can watch some of these bowl games in downtown Cary. So we appreciate them for sponsoring Ovies and Giglio and all of our conversations about the Panthers. We haven't talked about the Panthers today. I feel like
no, there's no reason.
You're right. There is really no reason. No. And then we talk a lot about OG type situations. And the reason why we're here.
No, he hates this right now.
I know he hates this, which is why we're doing this. That's why we're. He's got the headphones on. Greg hate him.
He's like Giglio.
Empire Properties.
Why are you doing this to me,
Greg? We have not actually. I mean, we thank you at the start of every podcast, but we actually have not,
for good reason,
brought you on to personally thank you for all the help you've given us since we've gotten this thing off the ground in May. So thank you for having us out and helping us set this stuff up, and obviously thanks for letting us class up Eford Studios.
And that you do, and thank you for all you're doing and giving us the real scoop on stuff.
Well, that's this guy. He does that.
Most important, and you keep him in line.
Not today.
I thought he was going to send me a mixtape. I don't know what he was talking
about.
No.
We're going to
play the mixtape.
How good are you with Christmas music?
I can't sing or play, but other than that, I'll give it a shot.
Do you think you can?
Do we need Samantha to come over?
Do you think you can pick out lyrics?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. So we already did Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis.
Who?
Run DMC. Are you familiar with them?
You know, Eisenhower was president when I was born.
No. Listen. Did you see this recent thing on our Twitter timeline? When the Soviets played Carolina, this might have been when you were at Technician.
This happened.
Okay.
Did a group of state fans go over and root for the Soviets?
It might have happened.
No, It did happen. It actually happened. Yeah. I've had confirmation from people.
He would know.
You would know because you were a Technician, right?
Yes.
That was back in the day. You didn't go cover that game?
I didn't cover that game.
Basically we'll root for anybody in red against Carolina.
Yeah.
And people showed up.
That was definitely something that was said quite often.
But this is true though, because I remember.
Well, it was said that everybody but the Russians, but I think they loosened the rules.
Look, all I know is that our friend Jeremy Markovich, who runs a great newsletter, NC Rabbit Hole, had gone through these unlicensed sticker rabbit hole, you know, like Mr. Wolf eating a ram, like with the bones and things like that. And I'm pretty sure there was a bumper sticker that said something along the lines of like, I'll pull for the Ayatollah before I would for Dean Smith. I'm not making this up. And I know this because at a Big Four tournament,
I remember that.
At a Big Four tournament, there was footage of somebody holding up a sign of, you know, Dean Smith versus the Ayatollah. And they were like, yeah, I'm going to go in for the Ayatollah.
I think you're talking to naked Dean Smith right now.
Oh, is that? Oh.
I just gave that away, didn't I?
Was that a Daily Tar Hole that you did?
That was one of them we did. That was the first one.
Greg.
Daily.
1983.
Tar
Came
Heel.
back and won.
With the Tar Heel or the Tar Hole? Because it's changed over time.
You know, it was the Tar Heel.
Okay.
Because we faked their newspaper.
Yeah.
Right.
And put it on top of theirs, so they thought it was really theirs.
Oh, you guys went over to Chapel
there.
Hill.
Oh, yeah.
See, because when I was
and there was no Photoshop, so you literally had to pose.
I didn't pose.
Not you.
I shot.
You took the picture.
I took the picture.
Okay.
And I went back to the dark room, and I cut, and I pasted. Yeah.
Smith's head on your staffer's body.
My
naked
best
body.
friend from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. So Travis Quinn, who is the PA announcer at NC State at Carter Finley Stadium for football, we had him come to the studio and do announcer voice for some of these Christmas songs. It's just the lyrics. We'll see if you can identify the song through the lyrics. Are you ready?
doesn't label
You know,
them
if
in
I
the way
look
that I
bad,
would.
you're going to lose your studio, right?
Well, we can always phone a friend.
Yeah, we can phone a
Samantha
friend.
can come help us.
So we can phone a friend. Yes.
Oh, there she is.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Once bitten and twice shy. I keep my distance, but you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby, do you recognize me? Well, it's been a year. It doesn't surprise me. Happy Christmas. I wrapped it up and sent it with a note saying, I love you. I meant it. Now I know what a fool I've been. But if you kissed me now, I know you'd fool me again.
All right, so
It's,
Samantha is gonna know this one. Do
It's
you
over.
know this one?
It's over.
I'll play it again.
Yeah, play it again.
Okay, let me play it
Let
again.
Samantha listen. George has no chance.
Okay, here we go.
Once bitten and twice shy. I keep my distance, but you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby,
Yep.
do you recognize me?
You had the
Well, it's
poster
been
on the
a
wall.
year. It doesn't surprise me. Happy Christmas. I wrapped it up and sent it with a note saying, I love
Phoning a friend always comes in.
She bails me out again.
Every time.
There it is.
Every time.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Thanks, Fred.
Would you like a tumbler?
T-shirt.
You want a t-shirt?
Tumbler would be amazing. Thank you.
Tumbler's
right.
behind you. George, grab your pops a tumbler. So you can put it on
Well,
the
you,
camera
you
right
guys
there.
are fantastic.
The drink. No, the tumbler. Oh my sweet Jesus. It's a tumbler.
It's a tumbler. Come on now.
That's fantastic.
There you go.
That's yours.
It's very
I
high
appreciate
class.
Put your Raleigh Times, Morning Times coffee in there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, did you know that Americano was a shot of espresso with hot water? I did not.
Oh, wow.
And now I know.
And where'd you grow up?
I know, but now I know, and that's what I get
Hey, I
every
didn't know
morning.
until we started the coffee
Yeah,
shop. It's okay.
Joe is very cultured. Greg, thanks, man. Merry
Hey,
Christmas.
thank you.
No,
It's great to see you.
no.
Merry Christmas.
No, Greg. Thank you.
No,
No,
Thank
you. No.
you
No, Greg.
for raising the stature of this place.
Sure. Thanks, man. All right, we have two more songs.
Oh, we do?
We have two more songs.
Oh, we got gift cards.
we have gift cards. You know, there's somebody that has to.
Are those yours or
participate.
mine?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Yeah, those are his.
Okay.
Those are Chip
They
Patterson's.
look just like mine.
There's only
Oh,
one.
mine over there.
There's one person that needs to participate in the mixtape.
Oh,
Who's
Ken?
here. Ken's here.
All right.
Ken, come
No,
on.
Ken did no homework though.
Come on, Ken. Let's go.
Ken's
Ken,
mad.
you're doing mixtape. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's make this happen. All right. It's ridiculous that he tried to opt out of doing
It's
the mixtape. Double the
X.
yeah. Do we have to re-up on t-shirts?
We do.
Okay, we'll re-up on t-shirts. All right. Ken is here. Ken's one of our big suppliers for things, if you catch my drift. All right. So they could be talking about anything.
Anything.
Could be talking about anything. All right. So we've had Christmas in Hollis. We just did Last Christmas, which you would have nailed.
Yeah,
Being,
I got no chance at this
being
one.
a
by the way.
kid, being an 80s guy. So I forgot what number 3 is. Oh, I know what number 3 is.
You had a couple songs that I didn't know.
All right. I think you're going to know this one. Are you ready, Ken?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
The mood is right.
Yeah.
The spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. The party's on. The feeling's here. That only comes this time of year.
I want to help Ken.
Can't help Ken.
Yes, I can.
I want to say the waitresses, but I'm not sure that's right.
The mood is right.
Yeah.
The spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. The party's on.
This would be
The feeling's here.
Yeah.
That only comes this time of year.
The next word is simply.
What if I hit you with the synth? If I just went, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, God.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Paul McCartney. Yeah,
got it. All right.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
See?
Yes.
Nailed it. Don't you have all of our prizes, Ken?
Yes, I
He
do.
does, but he just got himself a gift card.
If I'd done better, I'd be like on number 3 for the jukebox.
Oh yeah, we'd have to steal it from Rand.
Yeah, it's fine.
And give you one.
We did give Rand a jukebox.
We did. He actually uses it as a tailgate.
Different.
He actually uses it as a tailgate apparently because he uses the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
How about that? Comes in handy. Ken, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right.
I'd want to ask.
Yeah, man.
If you have bourbon before the short beers,
They don't count either. No.
Yeah. See, the problem, like, I want to do the live shows. I want to do the live shows like in the studio. You keep want to go places where you can drink.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's wrong with that?
You want to do that every Thursday? We're gonna charge the media company card for that? Like, what are we doing on that?
No, we only have one Christmas party a year.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's what the government says.
We don't do 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, we have one more song before we get out of here.
We really do?
Yeah, I have one more.
Is this
I almost feel like making Brownlow do it because we do an appropriate song. for Brownlow.
Yes. Yeah.
Brownlow, you want to do the mixtape?
Yeah.
Come here. Let's get you to sit down because I know Steve's not doing the mixtape.
No,
he's certainly not sitting down for the mixtape.
Steve's like, no, that's an
absolutely not. Brownlow's still hanging out.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
This is the last one on the mixtape.
Wait, do you know Travis?
Who?
You know,
Travis.
I think you know Travis Quinn. He's over at Mother Earth. He's the PA guy for
state football.
For state.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
All
so
right,
good.
So
Oh,
this
very
this
cool.
is a PA announcer voice doing arguably the worst Christmas song of all time.
Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve, and these shoes are just her size. Could you hurry, sir?
Oh.
Daddy says there's not
The
much
Christmas
time.
shoes or whatever
You
it is,
see,
right?
she's
Christmas
been
shoes?
sick for quite a while, and I know these shoes would make her smile. And I want her to look beautiful if mama meets Jesus tonight.
Oh, that's so good. I mean, honestly, if you hadn't told me who he was and I just heard that, I'd probably be like, that sounds like the state football guy. Yeah.
So there it is. That is the final of the mixtape. You got it right, Lauren. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll.
Do I get a gift card?
Yeah, take a gift card.
I don't
Joe's
know.
handing them out.
I mean,
like
I'm not
they're-
going to turn one down.
Joe's handing these bad boys out like they're candy.
He
So, I mean,
was
it
like,
is-
where'd they all go?
It is what it is. All right, Lauren, get out of here.
All right.
And we are going to get out of here. It's your favorite time, Joe. We're going to get out of here on some Hey Joe questions. Are they open today? You tell me. Are they open today?
It's Thursday. They're open.
So they're open. That's the thing. Okay, so most of the stuff that we're going to go through, the comments, it's funny.
You know, it's okay that you have quirks, right?
What?
You have quirks. That's okay.
It's okay. I mean, remember that time we had a listener come up to us and his kid, he managed to nail my intros. And I just,
here.
Yeah, it was here.
We were
Raleigh
here.
Times. Yeah, we were here at Raleigh Times. So it's funny. I had posted the fact that we're going to be doing a live show on YouTube earlier this morning. And people were already in the comment section ready to have takes about Mack Brown. So this is from Michael. You can trash the coaches all you want, but attacking the players is classless. What's next? Call the players out by name. If Coach Brown had done this, please provide. Is this continuing on? Or please, if Coach Brown had done this, please provide evidence. I don't even know what that means. Again, I think to kind of
they're saying to Mack's point, I've never heard this before.
I find that hard to believe. Well, for as long as he's coached.
But if you're interpreting it literally, that the coach is insulting the players,
okay,
I think most people wouldn't take it that. I think his comments were like Carolina sucks.
Yeah, I got you.
Not like Drake May sucks.
From nothing, man. UNC Hoops did not show out last night. Oklahoma looked like a middle school team in the first half. Couldn't even get the ball down the court and get a shot off without a turnover.
I mean, come on. You got to give teams credit when they play well.
And that's what we were trying to do. From what else? Okay, what else do we have here? I'm trying to get past.
I'm glad I don't have the computer because I would have. I love the comments.
Oh, I know you would have been popping these bad boys up.
I don't know how
all
to
the
do
time.
that, by the way.
This is from Connor. How many live streams likes will it take to get Giglio to shotgun a beer?
Ooh, none, 0. I'm ready.
That's shorty number what for you, by the way?
3.
How much Colonel Taylor did you have before that?
4 roses.
Oh,
Video Joe.
He just had 4 roses. This is from Aaron. Mac felt pressure from the fan base to respond, so he did it hilariously. That's certainly one way to look at it. From Noah, Mac always on edge during his press conferences.
Ultimate polish, man. He's been always the best.
From Jess, cringeworthy in relation to Mack Brown.
It was cringy. And then to be like, I'm not answering questions.
I'm out.
Why?
From Maxwell, Mack Brown is such a crybaby. I mean, it is what it is. From Blake Ovies, I'm concerned there's not an Aaron Rodgers agenda item for today. Sarcasm font.
For the record, no one saw Dan.
Dan exists. Thank you very much. Blake followed that up by every time Scott Wood is on, I can't help but think about the old Wolf Web. Yep, that's Wood meme.
Yeah,
it's back. That is a deep callback. From Whiskey Merce, just picked up my prime rib for Christmas from the butcher's market.
Ooh.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Oh, jealous.
So
jealous.
Love to see that. And from Dylan, apologies, I'm 12 minutes behind, but Dave Doeren doesn't ever apologize for the sentiment or intent of what he said, just the language he used. More of an, so you heard that, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I think we kind of addressed that at the beginning of the show, in that Dave's never going to apologize for taking the Carolina game in a particular way.
Right.
As you should.
Right.
And we talked about this at the beginning of the football season, thanks to Deion Sanders. Like, I think Deion helped pushed along, like, oh, so this dude can say these things? Oh, well, I'm going to go WWE promo on this too. And I think Dave has leaned into it, and I think it's honestly worked out for him. From J. Ray, can we talk about how Dave Doeren said State finished top 24 years in a row when that's not true? I'm not trying to be negative State fan, but come on.
I think he's talking about the CFP.
Yeah, maybe.
To be honest.
Maybe. From Jay, Mac is retiring. I think the writing's on the wall. Look, I thought the writing was on the wall after the Duke game. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't, but here we are. From Bull City Coordinators, the reading of lyrics giving us some real first season True Detective vibes, by which I mean creepy. Yeah, the first one was a little bit on the creepy side. From Greg, love the live setup. Need to go to the next one. Yeah, man, drop on by. Evan's in the same boat. I'll be at the next one. People were very excited to see the Boo Boo. Rand being in the house.
Rand, are you sure you can't take us out with a song? Come on. Whoa.
Don't you miss this? Don't you miss this? Like, it took 2 seconds for Joe to go right back into bossing you around. It was hilarious. This is that Freeman guy who apparently cannot stand anything we do, but he can't help himself in the comment section. Just started watching. DD is a bozo. UNC class was better. Transfer portal UNC got some guys from the SEC, 2 SEC schools. You just have one way of looking at it. Then there's reality.
The reason Mac really tapped out was he's always had a better recruiting class. And now he's lost 3 years in a row with all of those better recruits. Yeah. So what are you supposed to do?
I do think that State, in a way, kind of broke Mac this year, the way things played out. From Justin, short beers don't count is my new life quote.
See? It's a real thing, man. Shorties don't count.
That get Blake with another response. The OG alt accounts are doing a good job trolling in here. Yeah, no, that's true. There's certainly a lot of that going on. So anyway, from my brother.
Your bro.
Did you mail my Christmas present yet? No.
Wow.
I have not.
Wow.
My brother's very serious about Christmas.
Joey.
No, David, it's actually something that I talked about with Kelly today, that we need to put a present in for you, for Emily, for Ellie as well, the dog.
Nice.
We have to get a gift for the dog as well.
Yeah.
It's on the way. It's just not going to show up for Christmas. Sorry. And lastly, from T, does Dave and Mac have the same agent?
They used to. No longer.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's not like Dave and Mac don't have a relationship.
They used to.
Mac has a relationship with like every coach.
No, he does.
You saw the way he grabbed Shane Beamer. That's a coach. That is a coaching dynamic. Those are friends. Let me grab you by the face and turn you back at me when you're trying to get off this field.
Oh man. Good stuff. That's how you go home. Hey, we're not going to see each other for real?
No.
So 2024?
No, that's not true. I'll see you for our 7 o'clock Acorn drop, remember?
No, we really need to do that.
No, we're going to do it.
Last night?
Look,
I made it through the first quarter of the State game.
You and I are absolutely going to show up for the nut drop, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 7 o'clock. That's how.
And I will be out.
That's how kids and 40-somethings celebrate.
Can I Billy Madison that thing? And just throw like a dodgeball at those kids.
Might as well. Like, get out of the way. I need my picture taken with the acorn. It is what it is. All right, folks. That's going to wrap it up. Big thanks to everybody who showed up today at Raleigh Times. Big thanks to everybody
Don't
who
forget
watched
Christmas Day. It's a Christmas miracle.
We'll have an OG Year in Review Part 1 on Christmas Day. We'll have OG Year in Review Part 2 on
the Deuce
Wednesday. So that'll be that. So Merry Christmas.
No, you got to come over here and sing us out.
Come on, Rand. Sing us out. It's like a Christmas special.
Just pick any song. I
I
don't
don't care what it is. Sing us out, Rand.
Anthony used to work at the grocery store. Come on. Anything. They can't block us because we're live. So pick anything.
All right.
Oceans Rise. Empires Fall.
Ovies worked at the grocery store, saving his pennies for podcasts.
That's what we're making, actually. Pennies on the podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, are you though?
Joe tells me we are, so it is what it is.
Better than that.
Yeah. Is that good?
No.
Oh.
That's all you had.
That's a solid line right there. That was great.
2 bars. That's it.
I mean, let's
just say housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
You can't give me a little Mariah Carey. All I want for Christmas is Joe's.
Oh, that's good. Baby, all I want for Christmas is Joe's. That's good.
We're out of here. See you in 2024.